Hello, friends. Today we'll be going to see Ryan's 60, actually not Ryan's, but Ryan's project. It's a 68 Charger that he's working on for a friend of his. A little bit of pay it forward. There's been a lot of good years of friendship, and he's working on this beautiful Charger, 440 in it. It's got fuel injection set up and new key member and all that stuff. So at the Cherry Grove Car Show, this thing was amazingly popular and won best project class. And yeah, so I just thought we just extend that story to you guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and please share and like. Thanks. Down or what?
Yeah, I can bring it down and we'll take the cover off it.
You got the good one.
Yeah, the bend back. Yeah, it's the good one. Here's
My buddy's like, I'll tell you which ones not to get.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. This one I bought it from BC, from Babco.
Okay.
Got it from Babco. And, I bought it, I don't know, maybe like 4 years ago, I guess, maybe. But, man, this thing, it's just it's the best thing I ever did to this shop, like ever. And this car up and down and any other kind of projects or anything going on, this is where it's at, for sure.
Which way you want to do this? You want to roll it up?
Yeah, I'll roll it towards you, I think. Just flip it all up.
You got a method to it? No?
Not at all. All the dust and all its glory. Do a bunch of welding and everything turns into a disaster.
That's okay.
Too funny. I'll pop the head.
So what year is this thing again?
This is 1968.
68.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an original 318 car. And I think it was up like Leaf Rapids, Manitoba.
Okay.
And somebody had ripped out the 318 and they grabbed a 440, I think maybe out of like a camper or something like that. So truck. Now, I think it was a 1975
Okay.
big block 440. So they had thrown that in, but when they put it in, they had just cut the K-member, cut the original mounts off, used some other...
Make it fit.
Made it fit, and it was bubble gum weld.
Oh.
Just made a disaster to it, right? So they welded it all up and made a mess, put it all together, and this was actually getting done. This car was getting built when I was 18, so we're talking like 20 years ago. So it was my buddy's. It's my buddy's car. It's still his car. And we were putting a bunch of money into it so he could get it to prom. So it was on the rotisserie, got painted. He started putting it back together, but in all our inexperience, we didn't really notice about the engine and didn't really pick up on any of that stuff.
It was good. It was a 440.
It was all good. 440's in it, and it was running and driving when he bought it, right? Running and driving when he bought it. We blasted it around real quick, burned the tires, and then stripped it. Took everything right apart, rotisseried it, cleaned up the bottom, started putting it back together after paint.
This is why you were still in Manitoba?
Still in Thompson, Manitoba.
Wow.
So did a bunch of work to it, and I think it got all new floor pans, trunk, a bunch of metal work, of course, quarters. It got quarters, cleaned up the fenders. The doors are probably was a lot of work. Probably the most, if anything were to be changed at this point, you probably get the doors done. But after that, clean paint, done, put all back together, and then it sat. So they had moved out of Thompson. This got parked in a 35-foot enclosed trailer, and then I just happened to be in Manitoba, and I knew the car was there and all the parts were there. So I just said, you know what? I got a shop. I built a shop. I'm going to take this car back to Alberta, and I did.
Yeah.
So I brought it back here. That was probably 4 years ago. And that was about the same time I was putting the hoist in, and I lifted it up and then found all the problems. So I just started talking to my buddies.
So you just kept sending them bills?
Kept sending bills. So the list just got longer and longer.
Man.
And we put in a big order, did a bunch of stuff, put in a big order. I drove down to the States to, what's that, right on the border of that town. where he ships all their stuff to.
Yeah.
It's long grass or something grass.
Yeah, sweetgrass.
Sweetgrass, that's what it was. There's a pile of parts, and I loaded up the back of my truck and the cab of my truck with all parts from Classic Industries and all that stuff. Drove back up here.
Wow.
And then dropped the engine transmission K-member, took the whole front suspension out of it, and then just started rebuilding.
So with
putting
these
it all back together.
Dodges, pretty easy because you just drop everything and then,
It's
right?
so easy. Like, honestly, it was really good. I had the car backed in. I dropped it down on jack stands, 4 bolts, and then, linkage this and that,
Yeah.
done. And none of it was, like, it had never got running after it got rebuilt. So the 440 was rebuilt, and then basically they put it in the trailer, and it's been sitting in the
So
trailer
what kind
for a
of
while.
rebuild, like, did they do?
Full up everything, yeah,
Oh,
they did.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because it's 75, it can't be, like, compression must have sucked.
It wasn't bad. It was still
Really?
running pretty good, but it got the full meal deal. It didn't no line boring, not a bunch of lower end rebuilding, but we had an old stock car guy rebuild it. Real good engine builder, heavy duty mechanic in Thompson. He did the whole engine, and then we put it in, but never ran for almost 20 years.
Wow.
So not even started, nothing. So that was one of the first things I wanted to do. So I dropped the engine, did a bunch of prep, put the headers on it, threw it all back in, and then the goal was to get it running, and I got it started. And
Well, you sent me the video of
I
it.
sent you that video,
Right?
yeah.
That was awesome.
Good oil pressure. She ran and idled perfectly. And
It sounded pretty good for
it was not bad.
for a camper school bus
That's
motor.
right. With all the emissions ripped off of it.
So this
right?
thing won the Cherry Grove project class,
Yeah.
right?
That's
for obvious reasons, right? Trim's not in yet. The interior is incomplete.
Yeah. Before the show, I actually ripped the headliner out of it that wasn't
did you?
completely installed. Yeah.
So people were asking me at the show
Yeah.
about the dents.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Well, it's happened in transportation."
In transportation.
You're telling me. So
they had thrown the car into the trailer, painted. The powertrain was in it, but not hooked up. They had just bolted it back in. And this trailer is like a fully insulated cabinets, microwave. It was a racing trailer for like snowmobiles back in the day. So they had thrown this car in and all the parts. It sat up in Thompson, Manitoba for, 15 years, and then they hauled it down south to Winnipeg.
Sure.
So it sat in Winnipeg for another maybe 5 years. But on the way down, if you can see the damage on the top, it's kind of in a sweeping pattern. But when they brought it down, the doors weren't properly latched on the cabinet doors.
on the cabinet doors.
On the cabinet doors. So the cabinet doors swing open, and as the car is bouncing in the trailer, because they didn't put the shocks on it, it was just the leaf springs. So it just kind of bounced, and you can see it's just
bang, bang, bang.
ding, yeah. So it just kind of made a real big mess.
You must have been sick.
Well, and I wasn't there. My buddy was there, but he ripped the doors off, and he was upset, and he threw the doors, and he was so mad. And it's his brother's car. It's not even his car.
Sick.
So he was so mad. But it just so happened. Anyways, yeah, so a couple years later is my buddy's wedding, and this car was down there, and I just said, I'm going to take it home. I had a 1-ton diesel with me, and I towed the car all the way back here and then started working on it.
So what's going to happen with the roof then?
I basically I got to finish up the air conditioning, and then there's a couple of small things that I want to get to.
Yeah.
But I haven't driven it lots, right? Because there's no insurance or registration on it or anything. So I did drive it a mile to the Cherry Grove thing, but I put my truck plate on it.
That was a good mile, though.
Yeah, that's a good mile. And pretty cool, though. So I want to drive it, though. That's what I want to do. So I think I want to work all the bugs out of it and get everything kind of moving and everything oiled up. And I know, the transmission probably needs a good going through just to get everything warm and hot and, go cruising on the highway a little bit and see what other kind of issues I can find with it. But
So what kind of gear is in the back?
it's a super highway gear.
Okay.
Not very good at all for this setup.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, it's got the old one-wheel squeal. It'd be nice to get a sure grip in it.
Okay.
So I'd love to put 355s and a sure grip on it. And and I think this thing would be great. 727 automatic and then 440 big block. But with the big block, there's a little bit of a hopped up cam, nothing too crazy. It's got an Edelbrock intake with Holly Sniper fuel injection, which is the coolest part of the whole build, I think. Let's check her out.
Hey, I recognize that messy writing there.
Yeah, that's right. That's what, like I said, I haven't done anything else to the old
Nice.
girl other than whatever, bring it home and I left it here. So
Air conditioning.
air conditioning, it's got electronic ignition. I upgraded to a 210 amp alternator.
Okay.
So that's like a Denso out of a 4Runner. So put all that in, which is really cool because the sniper, the Holly sniper needs like good power.
Yeah.
So like good clean power. So that thing at idle, I got 14.4.
Wow.
Like this thing's putting out lots of jam. And it had manual brakes before too. So that's a brand new booster and master cylinder and disc brakes up front and drums in the back. Just like a stock.
So you were
setup.
saying you did what to the K member again? You complete new one or
Complete new one, yeah.
yeah? And then
So-
what else was done to it? Like rack and pinion or?
No rack and pinion. It's just a power steering. Power steering pump. Nothing too crazy. Brand new gearbox. Of course, brand new K member. It got upper control arms, shocks, brand new 3-inch pipes, exhaust. The hooker headers. The whole meal deal. So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Condenser and all the aluminum rad.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the one thing I got to finish up is I just have I have everything basically prepped. I got to run all the steel lines under the hood, and like a lot of it too is I wanted to leave it till the end because it's all under vacuum, all that system. So I didn't want to like start taking it apart if it was going to sit for another year or two. So yeah, I just kind of left it until kind of my last project. Once that's done, clean up a little bit of the plug wires and. Yeah, everything's wired and ready to rock and roll. Pretty fancy system I have over there for all the firewall setup and the relays and all that stuff for the fuel injection. But yeah, pretty neat.
You have to feel like pretty easy to do.
Fuel injection wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was. I literally really enjoyed it actually because the cool part about that Holly sniper is you can like I have 2 fans like electric fans, so I got rid of the old steel fan.
Yep.
Hooked up the electric fans, and it has triggers so you can set your temperature for one fan and then actually link in your air conditioning for the second fan. So when you
Nice.
turn your
Air
air
on.
conditioning on, one fan will kick on, and then when you hit your temperature,
The other one will go.
your second one will.
And it's
your
all
first
through
one.
the system.
It's all through the sniper. It's so cool. That is such a neat system.
It's amazing, right? Like just
Yeah, right out of the box, blasted on, trigger wires, and everything's good to go. So big 4-quart rad, and all the fans, lots of Amazon shopping, lots of relays, lots of wiring. But
you're a whiz when it comes down to that. So what's your background again?
I'm a certified aircraft mechanic, so civilian ticketed. I did that for about 15 years, and then got into oil and gas as per usual out in Alberta, right?
Well, you were telling me that you haven't left like aviation. You're working on some other stuff.
Yeah, still doing other stuff. So it's good. You gotta, for aviation, you gotta keep current.
Right.
So if if anything ever happens, oil or we ever move out of the area, I'll probably go back to aviation for sure.
You're never
So
going to move out.
I don't think so.
No. Don't say those ugly words.
You just gotta make sure you got backup. That's all, right? Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's good. But yeah, I work on a couple airplanes, private stuff, so still stay current doing that. And,
That's
and
cool.
it's fun. That keeps me busy. That's why the car's not done yet.
I know, right? That's okay. And, if it was your car,
Yeah.
I guess you probably maybe concentrate on a little more or
Yeah,
a
that's
little
it.
less.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I have a 74 Challenger, a 364 speed car.
74.
Yeah, so it has the
Still the
bumperette.
last year of the
last
okay.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the rally edition.
Yeah.
So it's got the stickers down the side. And
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. It's a 4-speed pistol grip car, which is really cool. Buckets, center console.
Small block.
360. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So that's actually in the trailer. So that's the whole deal. I say
Okay.
you can take your car, but my car right now is sitting in their trailer. So once the switch happens, I'll bring that car in, and it needs a little freshening up on the front suspension, probably some brakes. A good tune-up, and I'd actually like to put it on the road this summer. So
You had the car for no.
I've had that car for about 20 years now.
Really?
too,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah. So, and I would just drive it once a year.
Yeah.
That's how it happens, Ben. You move somewhere, you have a job, you're busy, spending all your money on maybe the house that you just bought.
You're preaching to the choir.
Then you get married,
Yeah.
then you have babies, then
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, I
That's how it
had
goes.
my '58 Pontiac Safari,
Yeah.
right? Station wagon, and I started, stockpiling parts. I had, the big
Yeah.
brake system. I had 13s for the front,
Yeah.
11s for the back.
Yeah.
I found all the fenders. It took me forever because it's a Canadian car.
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
cool.
a little different, a little smaller.
Gotcha.
Took me years to find that stuff. And then, we moved up here and, second kids that are popping out. And then
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
And you're
damn.
busy.
Then I had a guy bugging me and bugging me and
Yeah.
bugging me. And actually then it left. It's somewhere in Nova Scotia now.
Cool.
Yeah, a collector that just collected 58s.
Yeah. Cool.
And the only thing he was missing was a Pontiac
Yeah.
and a station wagon,
And he picked up yours.
and picked up mine.
Yeah.
So so
That's
he
cool.
had a truck coming down to Calgary, and I said, you know what, I'm picking up another car in Calgary. So the wife and I loaded up
Yeah.
the whole wagon full of parts
Yeah.
and a little overnight bag,
Yeah.
and we jumped in the '58.
Nice.
We went from Coal Lake all the way to Calgary
No way.
on the highway, just floating like on the highway. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Back in the day, that's what it was, right?
It was cool, and it was a little 283 two-speed power glide, and
Perfect.
my wife hates cars,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
stinky ones.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, how come this thing stinks? Well, you got the blow by was just a pipe.
That's right.
It's coming down the
Yeah.
right by the tranny, right? It's just dumped there. She's like, "What's that smoke?" I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry about it."
Just crack your window, you'll be fine. Yeah. This is it. We'll talk about this when we're older. This is fun. This is
Yeah, no, should be talking about it, all right.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
It's funny too though, like these cars back in the day, we're talking like 20 plus years ago. The owner of this car, we had bought this car, right? They had also bought that Challenger, which I found actually in the backyard on my street in Thompson, Manitoba. And I told my buddy's dad about it, and he went and bought it that week.
wow.
So he went knocking on the door, and he's like, "I want your car." And he actually drove that car as a daily driver in the summertime for, maybe like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would drive it back and forth to work. That's all good. And I ended up getting that car as a birthday gift.
Really?
Right? Yeah, so I got that when I was 20, when I turned 21.
Man, eh?
I got that car given to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, and I've had that car ever since, and I'm like, okay, we're going to get her on the road. And it's a running, driving car. It needs a little loving, but
Yeah.
it's a running,
No,
driving
it's-
car. Complete.
That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool. And then, so that's kind of the reason why I've been working on this one, or I took this one, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get this car together, right? It's just been kind of like a family thing.
That's
So
amazing.
they also have a 68 GTX
Okay.
with a 440 in it, and they have a 72 CUDA 340, but he
Yeah.
has a 6.2 Gen 3 Hemi he wants
Okay,
to put in it.
that's
So,
what he's gonna do.
yeah, he's gonna, and it's a 6-speed with a 6.2 Hemi, and of course like all the electronics to it and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I think that'll be a really cool car too.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you remember seeing these cars
Oh,
for
they're
sale?
everywhere,
Yeah.
and they weren't a lot of money.
No, and now like you do
it's-
Canada-wide searches and you'll find one, maybe two,
And the money.
and super expensive.
So my neighbor,
Yeah.
just a young guy, comes home one day with this like basket case.
Yeah.
This thing is 68,
Yeah,
and this thing was like
Charger.
roach bad, like
Yeah.
bad, and he paid a lot of money for
Yeah.
it, and I'm like I think it's like $2,500.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
He's like, oh yeah. And then he looked at it. He's like, too much work.
yeah,
Sold it. He made money on
No
it. I think he
way.
sold like 3,500, and there was guys that were fighting it.
beating his door down for it.
He actually got another one, a black
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
and it's a pretty nice car. Same thing. It has the 440, the Fuelie in it.
Yeah,
He
cool.
did the rack
Okay,
in it.
nice.
Painted it all black, and he had the torque thrusters,
Oh, okay.
but in black.
Yeah.
Satin black.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That's not Jeff, is it? Is that
is Jeff.
Yeah.
That is Jeff's.
That's funny. It's a small world because I told. Anyways, working out.
oh,
whatever.
that's right. You guys
Yeah.
are sitting on company now.
I haven't met him yet, but one of the guys, one of the instrumentation,
Okay.
electrical guys was like, whoa, you got a charger. You know, I mean, it's the small talk and car guys and whatever. And he goes, here, no, call this dude, call his note.
Yeah.
He's got all sorts of parts and
Yeah.
too funny. But I hear that's a beautiful car.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Lot of. I mean, Jeff again. He's pretty particular.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
likes it, and so that was his.
Very
when it was a basket case, and it was. I'm like. Then he looked at it. He's like, yeah, too much.
Yeah.
And then he got rid of it. Then he bought this one that was a little bit better, but it had a lot of issues, right?
Yeah.
And he redid it all.
Yeah.
It's all
Good
done.
for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saving cars though, right? Just
It is saving cars, right?
it's cool.
That's the thing. It's it's cool.
It's the nostalgia of it all too, right? Because my buddy bought a '64 Ford Falcon.
Okay.
And I keep bugging him to bring it to the show. It is absolutely immaculate.
From here?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
just a mile away or a couple miles away, but he brought it over one day, and 2-speed power
Yeah.
glide, the 100 horsepower, that was the big engine at the time. But the history on that car is
Right.
phenomenal, and he's got all the history of when it was bought, and I believe it was bought in Calgary. Oh no, it was bought in Vancouver, I believe.
Okay.
But it was driven out to the Olympics, and they got like the parking pass, they got pictures,
He's got all of
they
it.
got all documentation,
Damn.
and then it was completely rebuilt, completely gone through. And his dad had one, so he ended up buying
Sure.
one. And this one is,
Mint.
it's got like grandma's plastic on the seats and whatever. But he brings it over, and I'm more like, I want a tire roasting monster. And he's happy with
happy
his
with that.
2-speed power glide. And I took it for a rip, and I threw a couple of my buds in the back. We're having a big fire here one night, and we just went and blasted around Cherry Grove.
Yeah.
But what a cool car!
Yeah.
100 horsepower, 2-speed.
And again, it's not about
No,
it's not about roast.
No.
And again, if it's something that is dad had, right? It's that
That's right.
whole
Yeah.
down memory lane,
Yeah.
and that's worth more
Yeah.
than
And
the
him and
entire roasting, right?
his kids hop in and go for ice cream a couple times a year, and that's pretty much it.
What color is it?
It's cream colored. I bet you
colored.
never even saw it. He barely drives it,
Oh,
but
really?
it is immaculate. I'll take you over there one day.
Yeah.
What a cool car.
Yeah, no,
Very
it's
cool.
we'll have to make him come down to the
Oh,
car
that's
show.
right. Yeah. He's like, I don't know, sit there all day. Just
Well,
grumpy. but
You don't
I
have- that's-
totally get it.
And that's the nice thing about the Cherry Grove Car Show is
That's
you don't
right.
have to stay there all day,
That's right.
right? You pull
Yeah.
in, you
Yeah.
chat a little bit, and you don't like it, just
That's right.
start the car and leave.
That's it.
Right? So-
Yeah. Peel out of there with
Yeah,
your 100
peel out of
horsepower
there.
and your
Right,
2-speed
create some
power
dust.
glide.
Yeah.
Too funny.
No, that's awesome. So again, that was just a bench seat, right? And call him and
Yeah, exactly. But the cool part about that car too is it has the big steering wheel, right? Manual steering with the huge metal polished bar.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like probably 4 horns under the hood. Just sounds phenomenal, right? Too funny.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's good. This car's pretty nice too. It's got the old center console. Kind of a cool car. I really like this thing. I never really knew how much. Like I always liked the smaller car, like the smaller, e-body stuff. I
Yeah.
was always like,
Yeah.
the Cudas and the
My
Challengers.
my buddy Kevin, the guy
Yeah.
with the 30,
Yeah.
likes his darts. right?
Okay.
He's a real dart guy.
Yeah.
And they're just a little smaller, decent. I've been around them.
Yeah.
All my buddies, for some reason, had Challengers,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
about 440s.
Yeah.
Another one of my buddies, Jeff, he had one and he took it. The thing was done, right?
Oh, yeah.
It sucked you back pretty hard with that 4-gear.
Yeah.
And then I thought I'd get into the old Mopar world, and the guy needed some money, so he pawned me his Challenger.
Okay.
So he had the snorkel, and
Yeah.
the guy never came back.
Really?
Never
You
came
just
back, so
kept
I'm
it?
like, I guess I own a Challenger.
Yeah. Cool.
Biggest piece of junk I
Oh
ever
no.
had.
What year was it?
I think it was like a 74,
Yeah.
73, 74,
thing, right
with the
at the end
dual
of the run.
snorkel
Yeah.
hood on it. And I went around a corner and it was leaning. and I was like, no way, man, this is not me. So I put it up for sale line.
Too much money.
I sold it. No, whatever. It was,
Yeah.
just wasn't me, right?
Yeah.
Just how you.
And what did it have in for motor? What was that thing?
I think it was a 360.
Okay. Yeah.
But a dog,
Yeah.
like nothing.
Bag,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, looked good from far and
Too many emissions.
was far from good. Type of thing,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that was okay. That was
Too
okay.
funny.
So you like green? You got this. What's this green thing over here?
Wow.
A little lower.
Yeah.
And a little.
Well,
what the heck, eh?
You go to a lawn tractor race and then you just get hooked, right? That's exactly what it is.
So this will be what this will be the third year coming up for the
I
lawn
think
tractor
so.
races, right?
I've only gone to one, which was last
Yeah.
year. So pretty good buds with Aaron. Ended up going, checking out the show and helping a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
So doing some track watering and just
Yeah,
helping.
seen
the guys
that. Yeah,
out.
going
Yeah.
around your
Yeah, with the old green
the,
tractor.
the other green one.
Yeah, but then you just kind of see what's going on. You're like, man, there's no reason why I shouldn't have a lawn racer. So I was right after everybody's hyped up. I found this one, good old Kijiji search, and there it was. It was the guy had dropped the front, notched the frame, dropped
Yeah.
the front, put on these fancy go-kart tires, and put a quad axle in the back with a chain drive, right? So big sprocket on the back, and he had a Rockwell 400 twin cylinder single carb, but it was like an old pressure carb, like
Yeah.
a bellows carburetor. So I was like, I don't want to deal with that nonsense. And a buddy of mine had a Polaris 340 twin carb. So
Wow.
he's like, he just gave it to me. So I grab it. So I'm going to put that in, and I'll put a CVT clutch on it. So it'll
Wow.
be primary, secondary. And I got all the parts. I gotta figure out what I'm going to work on next, I guess.
This thing's gonna honk.
It's going to go pretty good. I think the hardest part, like watching everything and making notes, because you're going to build one while you're watching these things. You want to be able to turn. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have lots of horsepower, but they can't turn. So I think if you spend some time making sure you get traction to the ground and making sure you can turn or make sure you got some weight out front. You
Yeah.
get
Just move around the weight. Move
some
the,
grip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was one of the guys who had a small single cylinder. I don't know, maybe like a 15 horse. I think it was a 4-stroke even.
Okay.
Anyways, he had this little tiny motor, and he was, if it was healthy, if it stayed running the whole time, he would have taken the cake
Wow,
on
eh?
everything. Yeah, lighter, not big horsepower, because this thing will probably be, anyways, in the 30-40 horsepower club, right? Twin carb, twin
Oh, yeah.
cylinder. It'll be a monster, especially on however much this weighs, 150 pounds.
That's with you on it.
Yeah, that's with me on it. Yeah,
No.
soaking wet in the rain, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, there was one of the guys there last year who did he put an injection pump, oil and diesel into
Okay.
his exhaust, into the hot exhaust. So whenever he wanted to like smoke, it was a Caterpillar style.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, he would flick the switch and that little pump would pump oil and diesel
Sure, and
into his
just
hot exhaust, and it just started
smoke.
bellowing smoke. So initially you're like, I think something's wrong with that thing. And then anyways, you figure out that he's got this pump all set up and
Oh
he's
man,
just making it
that's,
smoke.
that's awesome.
Yeah, super fun. And that thing was super fast, really
Wow,
fast. And but yeah, same thing, couldn't turn. And I think you rolled over the berm a couple times.
That's crazy.
Yeah, too funny.
So I have a video of it running. I'm going to show it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show it
Yeah.
right after, my little blurb here.
Happy Sunday! Whoop
Yeah,
whoop.
so what's next?
74 Challenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up this. I'm gonna do, like I said, 2 of the small jobs, which probably it'll be like a good solid weekend, and then this thing's gonna go on the trailer. It's gonna go to the body shop. So a couple more things to do, and I think they're planning on coming to pick it up because they're gonna take it to the body shop in Manitoba.
Okay.
They'll do the body shop, and then I think they'll probably just finish the rest of it at home. So my goal in it was the goal is to always finish it, but.
Mechanical. and,
Yeah, but as the years go on and it's getting longer and longer, I wanted to make it mechanically sound. So, do all the running gear, make sure everything works, wire and tack adapter because you're running you know, I mean, electronic ignition to old
Sure.
steam gauges and doing all this modification. So there's like tack adapters and wiring and all this nonsense. So
I have no patience for that.
oh, it's crazy. And it's a lot of work too. Plus old, yeah, it's a ton of work,
I have no
right?
patience for that. Like
Yeah.
I just light the car on fire.
Yeah. Plus upgrading everything to a 210 amp alternator. Some
Oh.
of this wiring has probably never seen 210 amps, right? So you're
That's
flogging this thing.
it's. I was very fortunate enough that you know, like the guys I hung around with, we all had each, you know, different
niches, I guess.
specialties,
right?
right? So yeah, we had one guy was an engine builder, the other guy was this, and I was the paint finishing. So yeah, you just hey,
Yeah, you'd
you want
scratch
to put the
my
engine
back
together?
and-
Yeah, and
exactly.
they would just hammer at it, right? They just torque numbers are in their head, and they're
That's
just
right.
turning it through and putting it together, and it's done.
That's like
versus
the old NASCAR guy,
Right,
right?
yeah.
You're like, hey, you need to build this for me. Yeah, sure.
and it's
Yeah.
case of beer and
Yeah,
off you
that's
go, right?
Yeah, and then it takes you 3 more nights than you expect it to take. You're like, oh, I need more time,
What
babe.
do we do?
Yeah, a little bit more time. We're
that's
not
awesome.
done yet.
Oh,
Too
that's cool.
funny.
Cool.
Yeah, neat car. Pretty fun car. I'll try to get both of them out. If this thing's still here, I'll bring this thing out to the show, and then I'll bring the 74 as well.
That's September, right? So
September, yeah.
this thing might still be around.
It might be. I don't know. I'm not sure what the owners have in store for it. Like they're busy too. They have a family-run business out in Ontario now.
Oh, Ontario.
So yeah.
So even further.
Even further, yeah.
Yeesh.
So it's and they're kind of just in the border, so they're pretty much Manitoba. But we'll see. I'll just keep poking at it, get a couple more things done to it, and when they're ready to come pick it up, they can take it.
So you might have the diff in by then.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be nice to put the old 2 wheels to the ground.
Yeah.
And I the idea would be just, to like even put a plate on it and run it, right?
Sure.
That would be great. Like, I would probably even, you could put it in my name, right? I would just, you know what I mean?
Antique plating is pretty easy.
A lot easier out here than back in Manitoba.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So if, you know, I mean, I could do that and even put some miles on it and troubleshoot some
Get
stuff
all the bugs
and get it
out.
driving. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I know, right?
That would be the dream.
The dream.
Burn some $100 or $1.70 gas, I think would be
Well,
the
yeah,
idea.
compared to
Yeah.
$3 gas
That's
in
right,
Ontario.
Yeah.
Like,
At
what
least
is it
over
now?
two.
Like, did he tell you at all or no?
That is no. I know my buddy in Kamloops, he's paying $2 for regular.
Yeah,
That's
my
crazy.
nephew's there,
Yeah.
and he's running a maintenance slash. They do lawn care and they
Okay.
do snow care and all that stuff. So they have like 14 vehicles, and I couldn't imagine filling it up at.
Well, and your just rates have to
$2.
go up. Yeah. Oh man, I filled up my truck 130 liters today, and
Wow.
I put how much did I put in? 117 liters, and I
At the co-op?
almost tapped out at $200.
Did you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So-
that's one thing. Like I'm kind of ignorant to the
Yeah.
like to the price. I
Yeah.
just go to
Well,
co-op,
'cause you have to
and
do
it's just liters.
Yeah.
There's no pricing to
Yeah,
it, so I'm
right.
like, oh, yeah, sure, send the bill.
Just bill me later. Yeah. No, that's like when you order car parts. The same
like,
thing,
what?
right? You're like, just put it on the bill.
my
That or
gosh.
Snap-on Tools, I think, right?
Yeah,
Either or.
yeah,
Too
cool.
funny.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I think we're done. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay. Hey, Ryan. I just want to thank you for the video. It's awesome. Yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.